Yeah, yeah, everyone. It's Thermite, and this is Until Your Bones Rot, Volume 6. So we've got Haruka on the cover. Interestingly enough, okay, so Haruka's here, Tsubaki is here, and as you can see, I believe these are, yeah, the thumbs are on opposite sides. So, assuming this is the full body that they're on, like, the previous couple have all been, like, just the skull. And I thought this was fine. I was like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Skull makes sense because it's very distinctive. I'm thinking that the final volume then is going to be like the rest of the body there, and like the body itself is face down. It could be like the entire body, or it could be the entire body minus the skull. But I think that's what we're gonna do because, yeah, because it makes sense. Also, I really like the contrast here. Where like this is very spring-like, and then this is very autumn-esque. It fits really well with their character designs and with like just the feel of the series right now. Like as we're leaving summer and slowly entering fall. All right, so currently we are at Mr. Kitahama's house. We just saw like he's hanging there. He's just hanging out, and we saw that he was a real creeper. Like he had some not like he had a lot of lewd pictures of kids actually, along with just like creeper shots. He's not a cool guy. Everyone's really grossed out by him. So he is almost certainly one of the phone guys. But the bones are not in his house as far as we know. Okay, let's see. This could be a lucky break. That he's dead, that can't happen anymore. Right. There's the entire thing with Muguet, right? Okay. What she wants is to know who killed Mr. Shige. If we didn't bring her anything, she would never stop tormenting us. We don't tell her what she needs to hear. We tell her what we need her to hear. So they're going to fabricate some evidence, I assume. Yeah, they're going to have to create a fake, like, answer to this. That's all I can think of. It's a bagel sandwich from Betty's kitchen. Oh boy. Muguet's is a strange girl. Real weird. We figured out who killed Mr. Shige. Right, he's hanged. Okay. So, again, like, the strongest lies are the ones that are incredibly close to the truth. So far, everything they've said so far seems like the truth. So all they have to do is fudge things just a little. Right. We couldn't avoid having to explain that we killed someone. At the same time, I mean, I guess she's already shown herself to be kind of scummy, so it would make sense that you wouldn't want her to be able to blackmail you. Okay, I think this is going to be possible. Like, in a way, they're going to desecrate Akira's spirit, but at the same time, like, he did some weird shit, so I think this is fair enough. The only problem here is, the problem with all lies, really, is they don't have the full story. If you know the absolute truth, then you can put together a perfect lie. Like, a lie that is as real as the truth, quote unquote, because no matter what truth you find, it's all going to corroborate your lie. I don't know if they'll be able to create something like that because they don't have the full story. Right? He's sweating. I'm pretty sure she's starting to figure out that, yeah, he's probably lying. Okay, we're trying to see if Akira hadn't said anything when he was live. That may be a clue. She saw that Kitahama was calling him on his cell phone. Okay, so they wrote this out. Okay. It seems like Mr. Shige tried to extort them by saying he'd tell. Then Kitahama killed Mr. Shige. So this is something she doesn't want to hear, clearly, because she's trying to get, vengeance for this guy. She was down with him. So they're playing it very scarily close. Like, the fact that it's something she doesn't want to hear is itself going to make it seem a little more, like, believable. I didn't want Akira's parents to find out, so she can't confirm it. I was hoping that they would fake two of those, but then again, she still might have been able to tell. See, you could take that both ways. You could take it as like, oh, that's too bad, I can't get my revenge, but whatever, you're free. Or, okay, I still don't trust her. This is, there's not a single shred of evidence for your story, is there? All right, this is my emancipation proclamation, as it were. What a strange, like, what a bizarre... I can't tell. I genuinely cannot tell if this was like, done because she was referencing something super Japanese or not. Like, she's weird enough that she could have legitimately just been talking about the Emancipation Proclamation. If you ever want to have steamy relations with me again, please do call on me. Oh no. Yeah, this is taking quite a toll on Ryu. Like, I said this before, and I'm still really worried. Ryu is honestly the linchpin of the series. Or, like, of their friend group, really, but also the series. And I really do like that we're getting more, like, humanization with him. Because apart from that, like, at first, it was kind of weird because he didn't fit into the whole, like, relationship dynamics of the series. But that made sense. Because if he did, like, if he were part of the bigger relationship, if he turns the quadrangle into a pentangle, it would have been absolutely bonkers. And like the fact that he didn't, the fact that he, like, when they realized that, oh, we killed Akira, or we cut up Akira and Akira is dead, like, he freaked out at first, but then he was able to get a handle on everyone. He was able to, like, not calm everyone down, but at the very least he was able to keep everyone from going crazy. But like, it doesn't mean that he's not, like, how do I put this? He is an incredibly human character, and I really like that because I relate to him quite a bit. He doesn't have the most extreme reactions of anyone else in the series, but he's still like, there's still clearly like an emotional toll being put upon him. He's just dealing with it better than most others. I think that's really cool. But it also scares me because that means like he hasn't, we've never seen him like fully snap, so it most likely will happen at some points. And if it does, then there's no one else on the group to, to calm the entire group down. Although, like, now that we've gotten past the relationship struggle dynamic of the series, it's possible that if Ryu snaps, that everyone else will be more level-headed and they'll be able to, to reel him back in. And that'd be cool. Where's the Toyoshima family grave? Okay. Yeah, better not to pry too much into stuff you don't need to know. I don't think we're done. I do not think we're done. Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've solved anything. Let's go out. Okay. Let's see. How is this going to work? My hands are already full with a heavy burden. It's called the future. So Chuni. Yeah. Just because you can't cut it doesn't mean you can't eat it. That's very fair. Also, I do like that, after hashing it out and after like pointing out, like, yeah, we don't like each other very much, they've gotten back to being friends. Like all their anger and frustration's been put out, so now they can finally relate to each other normally. This is nice. This is so good. I love that basically every single volume does have a moment where everyone's just being friends and hanging out and having a good time. It really does help add some balance to the series. If it wasn't for these moments, I think I would have dropped the series because it would have been too intense, as well written as it is. If we didn't have these moments, I don't think I'd be able to emotionally deal with the series. That turned out to just be a mistake. Okay. What could this be? I assume it has something to do with Tsubaki's family then. It feels a little empty. I mean, there really should be one more person here. Yeah, as sketchy as Akira might have been, especially near the end, he was still their friend. They were still, the 5 people. We'll go visit Akira every year no matter what happens. This is our new vow. That's really cool. Okay, that's actually a really healthy way to take this. Instead of having to meet up, to, look at the bones, it's no, let's make a new tradition. Let's just visit Akira. And even that, I think that's fine. Your feelings are your feelings. As much as I think that her dynamic with Shintaro is really unhealthy and I don't like it, at the same time, I appreciate that she's able to now confront it and say, you know what, that's, that is how I feel. It's not changing. We're just gonna have to deal with this in our own way. I can respect that. Oh no, this man would like a word with you. This is gonna be absolutely the other person. Not the person on the phone, but someone else. Also, you've just entered. I'm all about open relationships, free to come, free to go. Oh my god, that's I keep forgetting his name. Detective Boy, right? That's why he was here, just in order to observe the kids. Yeah, that's obviously him. So I'm still of the opinion, of course, that he's gotta be the not cell phone guy, but the other person working with him. Like he's gotta have the corpse right now. Rubber balls, 2 of them. Also, that's real weird. Didn't you just say in like volume 1 that they're like manju? That makes a lot more sense because they're like dumplings, you know, they're squishy. They're like there's a coating that feels flesh-like. A rubber ball doesn't feel like flesh. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of rubber ball, but still. This is good though. I like that Haruka's, you know, trying to put in an attempt to, you know, actually have a relationship with him. Like, if you're gonna do it, then actually try. Don't just blackmail him. Ah, this is great. Poor Ryu. But then again, like, even this, I like the fact that Ryu is, you know, this kind of guy. That, you know, we can have the crazy love triangle here, and he's not upset by it. I mean, it's possible that he might be, but I don't think he is. I think he is legitimately just a dude. Like, he's just, you know, he's fine with this. It's like, yeah, whatever. This is my friend group, all right. We even have the crow that he fought off for Tsubaki's sake. We're back to our lives, but things will never be the same again. Is this the final volume? I don't know. It's either there's 6 volumes or 7 volumes is what I thought, but I don't remember specifically. I think it might be 6. This might be the final volume. I didn't go into it expecting it to be, but there's no way. There's no way. I refuse. Because there are, like, especially with that homeless guy sting, you know, with the detective whose name I still don't remember. Like, there's no way we can finish that up in this volume. I don't know how many pages there are left. I don't want to look, but there's no way, right? We're going to have to end this with a big, freaky cliffhanger. This gross feeling would never go away. Alright, so he's trying to live with it. Like, he did figure out something important. He lied about it not being important. You, one of Muguet's... Oh? She's accepted your statements full. Okay, so clearly she didn't really send him for this. He's doing this on his own, right? I'm looking for leads on the dismemberment case that happened in this town. Oh... How do you do? I'm Fuji. That's right. His name is Fuji. First Investigation Division. This is also very possible. Like, I wasn't sure about his endgame, but I think this might be it. I think it might legitimately be that he wants to get the kids thrown in jail. And so he's been doing the whole dismember thing as a way to, you know, to create a crime that they can then be, you know, charged for. That's right. He knows about him. Let me just write down Fuji. Because it's a name where I genuinely think I'm going to, like, because it's so strange and because it reminds me a lot of Mount Fuji, like, I might forget it within this volume. So I want to write that, at least that name down. You discover a body, you ought to report it straight away. I wonder why you had to dismember the body. In fairly professional fashion. Oh, and they deleted the information on how to dismember the body, right? Right. Clearly been considered, and yet the cutting was extraordinarily poor. It was as if amateurs did it. You get the image of a common collective planner. Oh, that I didn't think about this. What if his plan is actually, like, what if it's specifically to make the kids trust that, you know, he's going to look into it for them, and then he turns around and pins it on them? Man, that's a really cool page. I really love this. Like, the shriek without any sound. Like, just that pure feeling. Oh, that's such a good shot. Like, even the page itself it's alright, but that one shot looks so good. I wonder if he's going to bury the skull or just destroy it. And again, if they left anything there, like, they were wearing gloves, which is fine, but if they left, like, even the slightest bit of hair, I'm sure he'll be able to pick up on it. If I'm right, if he is the culprit, then of course, like, he understands everything, and therefore, like, he knows what to look for in order to frame them. Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay. They have brought Dad. He'll be together from now on. Oh, okay. So the skull's all ground up. Oh, man. Okay. What did he promise her, though? Because I can't imagine that as his mom, she would have been aware that he was being, you know, abused, and she would have still said, like, oh, I hope that you get along with your dad. Huh? What was that? What was that? Huh. Because I thought it was initially like, oh, he doesn't want, the cigarette smell, like he doesn't want the secondhand smoke to, get into his son's face, maybe. But he's smoking as well, so there's no way that's the case. Ah, it's so weird to know how this happens and to have seen the killing repeatedly over the course of the series, but to still like keep getting like we're still getting tiny little bits of information. We're getting a clearer and clearer image of how this entire night went down. Oh, it's so crazy. Oh, and that's why he had the tiniest bit of regret there. Also, I didn't really realize what it was like. I didn't realize how close this guy was. So he was like actually going to run into Shin. That's what he was saying there. It wasn't that he wouldn't help me there earlier, but that he couldn't. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, because his foot was hurt. That's why he hesitated. Because like he had to try and figure out like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because I'm pretty like it's possible that actually is the case, but I think he might have also just like warped the evidence. Either that, or he was the one who killed him, and then he made it look like a hanging. Because then he would also be able to like he'd leave telltale signs. Yeah, of course it's not really a hanging. Ah, this panic. Oh my gosh. And that exact shot, like that exact indentation, where he was left there. Did they not take off his clothing? Like, did that also just decompose over the course of 5 years? All right, and that's the blood pact. That was their entire, like, in parts in order to just calm everyone down. I think that's respectable. And, like, yeah, the fact that it's so kiddie makes so much sense. Because, yeah, they were kids. Like, we knew that from the very start. But seeing them actually, like, carry out the murder in full is, I think, like, a really good way of showing that, yes, they were kids. It makes so much more sense to me. There's something I think you should all know. Okay, the police are onto us. That's what it was. Like, that's what I assumed. But because he said it like this, I assumed he was also going to talk about that thing. The thing that he said, oh, no, it was a false lead or whatever. I've recovered the corpse disassembly instructions you deleted from the computer. Oh, geez. Okay, so she knows basically everything. Yeah, this is not looking good. The culprit faked the hanging after they strangled him. Okay, so there would be, like, telltale signs of that. Oh, man. I will make everything clear. So, yeah, so this is where we're going to get everything. Okay, fair enough. What? I assume he means it, like, metaphorically. Okay, so next volume is the conclusion. So this is a 7-volume series, not 6. Obviously not 6. This would be a terrible way to finish the entire series. Oh, man. Okay, I have no idea what he means by this. Genuinely nothing. That's really surprising, because I had a pretty firm grasp on the mystery all this time. But, like, right now, everything I thought about is, like, it's clearly in a position where it makes sense. Like, yeah, Fuji is the mastermind. He was the one who strangled Kitahama. He's clearly using all of this to blackmail them, or not to blackmail them, but to frame them. And I assume that Shin is trying to like take all the blame for himself. If he says that he's the entirely the one person who did all of it, then only he has to be punished. They don't have to be punished at all. I think that this is going to be metaphorical in the sense that like it's because they killed his father. Because that's also like the entire backstory we got here, like the fact that we finally got to see the entire like how it all went down. I think that it's going to be that it's because we heard in volume 1, the killer or like the person who was on the phone the very first time sounded a lot like, it had the same feel as his dad. So I think it's got to be that it's like a relative of his dad and he's doing this all to punish Shintaro. And because of that, like only Shintaro has to be he's the only one who has to be punished for this. If he takes all the blame, his friends won't be punished. And then like he'll still go to jail for something. Like even if he can't be punished for killing his dad, he can be punished for this. For this one murder. Yeah, that's the only way I can think of. Like that's the only way I can see his explanation here making sense, and also still like him taking credit for it. Not just like if next volume it was just if you say so, I'll make everything clear right now. You did it, didn't you? And then, like Ryu says, "Okay, you did it," quote unquote, in order to, take the blame off of all of us. But it was actually someone else, and we'll figure it out at the end. That doesn't I wouldn't be okay with that. I think that this idea that I have of, like, because he initially wanted his father to be killed, even though he's starting to think like, oh, I didn't really have to do it. I could have just suffered through it. I think that's what he meant by he did it. That it's all indirectly his fault because he was being abused and he dared to fight back, which I don't, obviously I don't think that's true. I don't think that's something that he should be blamed for. But I think that's his, that's the way he sees it here. In any case, it's a really good series. I was just talking about this with, who was that person who just recently commented? I apologize, I don't know your name right off the top of my head. Sumangala Shetty. Yeah, the only reason I think of that the series isn't popular, I have to assume, oh no, I hope I don't, flag myself for that tiny little sound clip. Oh no, I could get a copyright strike as delivered by myself to myself. But yeah, as I said here, I genuinely think it's just because it doesn't have a whole lot of exposure. The series itself is fantastic, top-notch, I love it. And I think it would do really well in America because, the only thing I can think of that would be kind of a turnoff is the sexual violence at times, but at the same time, the series is never exploitative with it. It's never like, oh yeah, this is, it's supposed to make you feel good while also being terrifying. It's like, no, it's always really gross and uncomfortable and you're not supposed to enjoy it. So I think overall, this is probably, I think it could do really, really well. It's just, it doesn't have a whole lot of exposure. So if you like the series, I would highly recommend it. It's real good. I wouldn't say it's the best thing you can get right now, but the volumes aren't too bad on Kobo either. They're what, $7 or something? Not bad. And it's very easy to read too. There's so many chapters. We're on chapter 83 right now. I cannot believe that. Volume 6, chapter 83. And the chapter naming system is really nice because it feels like I'm accomplishing something every time I finish a chapter. I just want to read more and more and more. This is, I think, one of the only series ever on chapter 1s, my reading just chapter 1 video series, where I just immediately started reading chapter 2 because I couldn't stop myself. The flow of the series is so incredibly good. It's the kind of thing where I also think it would work really well when serialized because a lot of the chapters ends in a way where they start in a way that where it picks up from the last ending. So it's very smooth. This, not quite so much. But let's see if this one works. Yeah, tonally, it's it carries together so very well. It feels like basically the same chapter here. But I could definitely see this being a satisfying ending to the chapter 1 week, and then next week you pick up, and it's okay, I remember what this is like. This is the exact same feeling, even if it's a different location. It is, I love it. It's everything I've really wanted in manga for a while. I've been reading a lot of monthly series, and this is the exact opposite of that. It feels like a reverse monthly series. There's lots of chapters, lots of just constant progress. I just, loving it. Absolutely loving it. Cannot wait until the final volume comes out. And until then, this was Thermite. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments let me know in the comments who you think the final, what do you think the final twist is going to be? Do you agree with me? Or is there something that I'm overlooking? Because once Volume 7 comes out, I can't speculate about it anymore because it's, it's written in stone. I'm going to read it and then we'll all know the truth. But right now, this is the precious moments where, anything could happen. For all we know, the series ends with the mangaka going, oh, by the way, it was magic space dragons. Literally anything can happen. This is really, this, I think, is the moment where any mystery series is at its best. Because once the mystery has been solved, a little bit of the magic of the mystery series is gone and it just becomes okay, so mechanically, how good was this? How well was it put together? Because there's a definite answer. But when you're reading it, there's no definite answer. That's also something that I really like in manga that you can't really get from mystery novels. Serialized novels, sure. But modern mystery novels tend not to be serialized. Unless it's a web novel. And so for a physical one, there's always that problem of, well, I can't speculate about this unless I'm in a book club. If I'm in a book club, then yeah, sure, but even then I have to watch out for spoilers. With this, the final volume isn't out, and I don't think it's being scanlated, so I don't think I can be spoiled on it. So no one knows until that final volume comes out who in the world the killer is, and that's something I adore. Anyways, I think I was supposed to end this video like a minute ago, so this was Thermite. Bye for now. Nya nya.